What's up, guys? This is Kephas, hanging out in Terokkar Forest, ready to continue our adventures leveling up the Panda Warrior. Heck yeah, you guys, it's been a crazy week. I know that I've gained a lot of new subscribers, so if you're watching this, I just say welcome. This is what I do when I'm not making crazy videos that get a lot of attention. So yeah, that video that I made about WoW and how it's changed and what has WoW become, that really got a lot of attention and my mind was blown. So I mean, seriously, I got so much positive feedback, and I want to thank you guys for all the positive feedback. It means a lot. And I plan to make a lot more too. I have a lot more I like to say about the game. What the heck? There's like nobody here. Okay, here we go. I have a lot more that I like to say about WoW, about the different parts of WoW. I have some thoughts about dungeons that I'd like to talk about. Just my experience being in a larger guild and how I've seen dungeons change with the LFG system, all that kind of stuff. And just all kinds of stuff. I mean, the flying. Let's talk about flying because it's relevant, and we're going to talk about it here because it's on my mind. It's crazy. I don't think I've seen this much outcry since the Real ID fiasco, when they were using real names. That got a huge outcry, and this is probably the closest thing I've seen since then. And it's mainly because it's such a polarizing issue. I would say that a little bit more than half, probably about 60-40 roughly, are in favor of flying. So it's really close to being a half and half. People that want it, people that think the game's better without it, and then there are people that don't care. So I would probably say that more people want flying back than people that don't. If you want my opinion on it, personally, I think the game has been more fun without it. That's my opinion. By that I mean with the current content. I think that when content is current, like when we were leveling up for the first time in Draenor, I think that it was a better experience without flying. And for a while since then, I think that running around, it hasn't been that big a deal. And I think a lot of that for me is because I don't really need to go anywhere because I don't ever leave my garrison. So I mean, at this point, I'd be happy if I had a reason to walk anywhere. So that's kind of my issue. But in all seriousness, if I had a reason to fly, I guess there would be a lot of reasons why flying would be nice to have. At the same time, it isn't more fun. It's efficient. Really, it's not really fun, and I think that's the issue. Really, is that when you just fly, you hop on your mount, you fly to where you're going, you quickly do the thing, you hop back on your mount, and you fly away. That in essence isn't great gameplay. But I understand the perspective where it's like, well, the thing is, we're doing this every day. It's repetitive. It gets old, having to deal with all the crap to get somewhere. It's a deterrent. I don't want to do it. It's not necessarily fun to do it this way either. And I agree with you on that. I understand where that mentality comes from, and I understand. Like look at me right now. I'm flying, right? I'm using a flying mount here in this old content leveling when it used to not be the case when it was current content. So leveling alts, flying is very convenient. It's nice to have, and I understand where people are coming from with that. And I think that I think what it is with Blizzard is that they feel like maybe they regret ever bringing flying into the game. And that's something that I've always said. Flying kind of does take a little bit away from the experience. Because look, when I'm doing this, look at this. Like, this really isn't all that great. I'm flying overhand. Usually I'm flying a lot higher if I'm going somewhere. And, it just kind of takes you out of the world that you're in. But and some people say, well, no, I like to fly over the world and see and admire it from the sky. And I get that too. That's true. But you're just looking, right? Like a lot of times I use the flight path anyways, even when I can fly, just because I'm like, I don't want to fly and just sit here and click W, for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, however long it takes me to get somewhere. I'd rather just automatically fly there, even though that might take longer. I'll just get up and go away and make a sandwich or use the bathroom or make a phone call or take a jog. I don't freaking know, just something else, because it's not really. It's just technically it's not fun. You know, running kind of creates opportunities for you to run into mobs, having to avoid mobs, being in the environments. So there are pros and cons to both. And I'm going to say this, because this is such a polarizing issue, me preferring not flying doesn't make me wrong. I don't apologize for that. You that prefer flying, you're not wrong either. You don't have to apologize for that either. It's valid and it's fair. But what it comes down to, I think that Blizzard is in a situation where they've already opened the box on this. They've already added flying in the game, and what they're trying to do essentially is put the toothpaste back in the tube, and you can't really do that. I think I said that before, that what they're going to have, I think I made a video about this before where I said they're going to try to take flying away, and unfortunately it's not going to work because you just can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You know, once the toothpaste is out of the tube, it's impossible to put it back in. You know, and that's kind of what it's like. People have already accepted flying. They like it. It's convenient, and there are a lot of people that prefer convenience over anything else. Convenience trumps fun. It trumps quality every time. That's just the way that's human nature. It's a human phenomenon. We prefer convenience over everything else, even at the cost of a better experience. And it may even feel like it isn't a better experience when we lose that convenience. So, okay, there's a guy here somewhere, and these guys aren't him. So, you know, that's the problem, is that we've adapted to the fact that we can fly, and to take that away, and then to say, you know, what makes it even worse is it's gone for good. You know, no more flying. We may never bring flying back ever, other than old content. That really, you know, that's a pretty definitive thing to say, and people don't like it, and I understand. I totally get why. Like what I'm doing right now. If I wasn't flying right now, I'd have to climb up this rope bridge, find this guy on this rope, on these little huts and whatnot, and that's just crazy. Even though, as it turns out, look, he isn't even up there. He's down here. So I would be kind of ticked off right now. But since I'm flying, that was pretty easy to find him. That's a good example of the convenience of flying, right? And I guess you could argue, well, that took away gameplay. That's true too. So, and that's the thing, is that there are valid points on both sides of this argument. And I see both sides, but I think that I'm on the side of people, because the people that feel like they want flying back, mainly because they've already added it, and they're just, people aren't going to just accept that it's not going to be part of the game. It's just, you just can't do that. I think that having expansions like Wrath, like Pandaria, you know, not like Cataclysm. I don't think Cataclysm was good for leveling, but Wrath and Pandaria did a good job where you could fly in the end. You could buy it or whatever, or do something to unlock it. I personally think that flying could be even treated like heirlooms, where once you unlock it on your main character, you can spend money and pay for it on your alts to level faster. You know, so that way, like, let's say we go from, let's say like in Draenor they added flying in, and you know, the first time on your first character you level up to 100, and then on your second character you can buy it at 90. That way that, you know, that way you can buy it at 90, you can level up a little bit faster on your alts, treat it like heirlooms in a way. I think that'd be a good idea, personally. And like I said, I'm not even a big fan of flying, but I understand, you know, and so that's kind of where I stand on it. I don't think it's necessarily great gameplay, you know, but at the same time, it's part of the game, and it's just like LFG. I hate LFG, even though I use it. Matter of fact, why don't we use it right now? Shake things up a little bit. I love it for leveling, and this is what I want to talk about in my next video. I think is the LFG tool, and how I think it's changed the game, changed the experience, and you know, we'll go from there. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things, like a lot of issues. It's really hard to say, you know, what's the right thing to do here. But I think that unfortunately Blizzard is just in a situation where, you know, they've already opened that can of worms. They can't go back. That's just the way that it is, and it's one of those things where players have, the outcry is just way too big for them to ignore. They can't they're not going to win that argument. All they can do is they can try to ignore it. But I'll tell you this right now: if they don't change their minds, oh, that was fast. If they don't change their minds on this, at least for the next expansion, they may or may not for Draenor, but I guarantee you they're going to change their stance. If they don't, I'll eat my hat, because the outcry is just too big to ignore. You can't ignore that many people saying no. It's like the real ID situation. They couldn't ignore that. They thought they were slick, and people said no, and it didn't happen, and that's how it is here. And it doesn't help their case when there are people that are frustrated with so many other issues, and frankly with some of their community managers. Honestly, I think that there are people that are frustrated with some of those guys. They're frustrated with the communication issue. We've seen some people get mistreated, and listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Some of you guys, none of you guys listen to this, because the people that are listening to this subscribed. That means you liked my stuff, so you probably had nice things to say. But some people, man, in the comments, it wasn't very often. It didn't happen very often. But when people were mean, they were really mean. I mean, I had people threatening me. I had people wishing that I got cancer. People forget that they're human beings on the other end of these TV screens. That they're talking to humans, and Blizzard doesn't deserve to be, threatened or insulted just because they're developers and they're rich or whatever. I mean, they're not that rich anyways. I mean, look, I have friends. I play a game with a guy that I play WoW with a guy that used to work for Blizzard. I'm part of AIE, so it's no secret. My ex-GM works for Blizzard now. And he's a great guy. He's an amazing person. He's a good person. And I'm sure the rest of them, for the most part, are probably good people too. And they don't deserve... No one deserves to be talked to the way some people talk to people on the internet. And that's just kind of part of the internet. So, I know that the internet can be mean, and some of people that say things can be mean. One of the things I got praised for so much in my video was that my criticism was constructive, and I try to give a fair, balanced opinion. That shouldn't be praised. That should be normal human behavior. I mean, thanks for the appreciation, but that shouldn't be a mark of praise. That should be what's expected of you and me and everybody. It's called being a decent person. It's called being rational and being fair. That's the mark of a good person. Not even a good person, a rational, normal person. That's what normal people do. They don't freak. They don't go nuts like a lot of people do. Because at the end of the day, we're not talking about ending the war in the Middle East. We're talking about a video game. And as much as I love video games, my career is based on video games, right? I mean, I've been playing them my whole life. As much as I love them, they're not that important, so nothing is important to mistreat people, for sure. But so I get that Blizzard gets a lot of that. I guess I went off on that rant to say I get that Blizzard gets a lot of people that are just crazy, but sometimes, lately at least, some of them have acted less than desirable as well. To some people, been snarky comments, whatever, and that's not good. We don't have to answer to anybody, unfortunately. We're not the ones selling ourselves. They're the ones that have to sell. So that it's even more on them. And really, everybody should be decent to each other. They deserve to be respected. I want to tell you guys, if you've been playing this game at all for the past few years, they deserve your respect. They've earned your respect. They have made an amazing legacy with WoW. And they have entertained you, at least, if they're not anymore, they did for a long time. And that alone means that they deserve your respect. Anybody does. So that's another thing to look at, is that, that's why when you talk to them, and if you're going to give feedback or whatever, you do it with decency and respect. If you want to be heard, that's how you do it. If you want to stand out, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's life. That's everything. That's why some of y'all do nothing but play video games, because you're not going anywhere with your life because your attitude sucks. So there's some food for thought. Don't suck. Be a decent person, and yeah, So I'm getting a little preachy. I apologize. It's been a crazy week. I have a lot of stuff on my mind. But honestly, most of you guys are amazing. Like a lot of majority, I'd say a good 95% have been good. You know, that's for sure. So most of you guys are awesome. So I'm not talking to most of you people, because most of you people are decent human beings that just like to have fun and care about the game. So, you know, most people on my channel, because, you know, I try to cater to people that are decent. I have confidence that the people that are watching my videos, that's you. So, you know, it's all good. Nobody wants that helm, by the way, because it's a helm, and we're all wearing heirlooms. It's just kind of funny. Props to the priest for throwing down all the feathers. Ouch! What the heck was that? Here, I'll use my my heirloom. I don't know what just hit me. That hurt. There must be explosions or something going on. I don't even know. But yeah, you know, like right now, dungeons, I'm using the LFG tool. I technically don't like the LFG tool. I love it for leveling. For in-game, I hate it. You know, for various reasons. It's good for the game though, and I understand that it's a decent tool to have for the game. The game probably couldn't survive without it. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 lately, and I love that game, by the way. I'll tell you what, while I'm talking about that, it has the LFG tool in it, is my point. But before I, you know, forget what I was trying to say. Also, holy cow, lots of ads. Also getting some frame rate droppage. I don't know what's up, but anyways, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 like a freak lately. Because you know, with WoW, I'm buying the WoW token now, and I don't have to, you know, I don't have to pay for WoW anymore. So that frees up some income because I won't, you know, financially responsibly, I won't pay for 2 MMOs. I just won't do it. I'll pay for 1 MMO. So since WoW is free, essentially a free-to-play game now, I thought I'd, you know, finally give Final Fantasy 14 a try. I've heard great things about it. It's pretty big. It's like I don't know how many people play it. I've heard that it's up to 4 million now. So, you know, food for thought on that one. It's pretty big. But I've always been a Final Fantasy fan. I like the old games a lot, and I thought it'd be cool to check out the MMO, and I really like it. I mean, I really like it, actually. It's a great MMO experience. So I want to leave a straw poll up, because the people that watch these videos you guys are the Let's Play fans. You like to watch me play games. You're going to watch all this. So you're the opinions I want to see. For stuff like this, I make this kind of stuff for you guys. Would you like to see Final Fantasy 14 gameplay? And if so, I'm going to have a straw poll up at the end of this video. In the comments, I mean. Or not in the comments, in the description. Bleh. And you can vote if you'd like to see me play Final Fantasy 14. I want to continue to do everything I already do. Nothing's going away or getting replaced. Just a new idea, something new to do, something new to share with you guys. If you'd like to see that, then I will create a new character for YouTube, and we will explore that world together. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So there'll be a straw poll, yes or no. If I get enough yeses, or mostly yeses, then or all yeses, that'd be even better. Then I'd do that, because I've been playing the heck out of it. I might as well share that experience with you guys. So, you know, we'll look into that. Also, don't fear me, guy. What the heck? So that's something that's going on lately. I've been checking out that game, and the WoW token is great. I've been using the WoW token like crazy. I have so much money. I make so much money from the garrisons. It's so easy. It actually makes me wonder. Dang, leveled up. Makes me wonder why people even buy WoW tokens. I'm glad they do, but I'm just like, you guys are crazy, because I can make that money in a heartbeat. It's insane. And people just straight up like buy those tokens, you know, for $20 to make the amount of gold that I can make in a week. And I don't mean that, I'm not saying that cocky, like I'm being cocky. I mean like easily. I can make that much gold easily. So, you know, it's just kind of weird. It's sad that people can't, you know, that have a hard time making money, or they feel like they don't have time or something. Oh, crap. Alright, who are you? Why are you here? I gotta get back in that dungeon, so I can turn these quests in. If you ever want to quickly get to turning in the quests, teleport out and teleport back in, and you get back to the beginning of the dungeon, you can turn those in. I think there's a stupid NPC like halfway through the dungeon I might have to run to, so if I do, I'll do that off camera. It's not a big deal. Oh, my mod's not working. I don't even care. Just take whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I do. I have to go like back halfway through. It's no big deal. I'm going to go turn this in, and then we'll head back out of the dungeon and continue on our journey.